What is going on, guys? Today's video is going to be about 2014 UFC champions being greater than their counterparts in 2024. And my hypothesis is that, if they were to fight the champions from 2014, pre-USADA, versus the champions of today, more of the champs from 2014 would win. Now, it is a decade apart, and the sport has definitely improved, but we'll see if the champions are actually better. So let's move on, and I'll set the scene for you guys. What's happening in 2014? 2014 UFC scene, Anthony Pettis is the greatest star. Dana White is glazing him just like he is glazing Jon Jones. Maybe not quite as much, but Anthony Pettis is everywhere. He's a dynamic striker, good grappling as far as his jiu-jitsu goes, decent wrestling, which got exposed by Rafael fight later, but this guy was a star in the UFC. At the same time, guys, Dana White was on the hype train for Renan Barão. Renan Barão was being compared to Floyd Mayweather. He was a pound-for-pound #1 fighter. He was undefeated for 8 years. I mean, TJ did him dirty and kind of ruined his career afterwards, but Renan Barão was a monster. And, he was the second guy from Nova União right behind Jose Aldo. 2014 was also right before this clip became kind of viral. Chris Weidman's father, trying to defend Weidman and, saying that he's still my son. And, poor Weidman took an ass kicking from Luke Rockhold and then got absolutely embarrassed by his father. But that's the scene in 2014, rather. Now, let's look at the matchups that we have in the heavyweight division. Currently, Jon Jones, and at that point, it was Fabricio Verdum who had just defeated Cain Velasquez. Had not defeated Cain Velasquez. Cain was, I think, injured at that point. I think he had got the interim title from Mark Hunt. I think that was what the scenario was. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, guys. But I think Fabricio Verdum is a very tough matchup for Jon Jones at heavyweight. I think he has the striking, the chin. He has definitely the grappling. And, I don't think Jon wants to really take him down because we've seen what happens when people take Verdum down or when Verdum takes people down. So I think it would be a striking battle. I do side with Jon Jones. His fight IQ is, just extremely impressive. And Verdum is pretty slow, but so is Jon at heavyweight. But I'm going to go 60-40, leaning towards Jon Jones. Moving on to light heavyweight. Again, Jon Jones is going to make another appearance, but this time against Alex Pereira. And I got to be honest, as much as I would love to see Alex just take the soul of Jon Jones and, further his career and kind of solidify himself as not only one of the greatest ever, but the greatest ever. How crazy would that be in the short period of time that he's been doing this? But you got to go with Jon Jones. I'm going to go 70-30 for Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones is going to be able to either take enough rounds if he's risk averse, or if he actually takes a risk, I think he submits Alex Pereira fairly easily in round 2. So 70-30, leaning towards Jon Jones. Moving on to middleweight. Chris Weidman makes another appearance. Chris Weidman versus Dricus. This is a fun fight. This is a really fun fight because both guys don't have the best striking. I would say Weidman has the better boxing for sure. Wrestling-wise, I do lean towards Weidman. Grappling-wise, again, I do lean towards Weidman. But the X factor here is Dricus is a dog, and he is strong AF. So I'm going to go 55-45, leaning towards Weidman for this one. And, that's our middleweight matchup. Moving on to welterweight. Two guys that are on the sauce, or one was on the sauce, the other one is probably on the sauce right now. Johnny Hendricks versus Belal Muhammad. I think this is an easy one. What would Belal Muhammad do to Johnny Hendricks? Would he take him down? Absolutely not. St. Pierre could barely do that. I don't think he has a chance in hell to take him down. Is he going to strike with him? I don't think so. Because Johnny Hendricks, back in the day, especially his left hand, was a cannon. You know, he would hit people, and people like Martin Kamen, they would actually legitimately fly. I think this is an easy matchup. I don't even think this is like, I don't think this is even a matchup. I'm going to lean towards Johnny Hendricks, 80%. So 80-20 for Johnny Hendricks. I think this is an easy one. I think Johnny runs away with this matchup. Moving on to a lightweight. Now, this is a very fun stylistic matchup. And I think it's a toss-up. I'm just joking, guys. This is 100% Islam. I can't give him 100%, so I'm going to give him 95 because Showtime might catch him with some funky kick. But Islam is like 20 levels better than Pettis. If they fight like a million times, maybe Pettis is able to catch him one time. Maybe. I don't even know about that. But I think Islam just takes him down, ragdolls him. If Rafael dos Anjos was able to take Pettis down at will and completely put on a wrestling clinic on him, I think that Islam does this much, much easier, and Islam probably submits him within, a round or two, or just ground and pounds him. Islam's a beast. This is not even a matchup. Moving on to a heartbreaker for me. Now, this one at featherweight, the King of Rio versus, Ilya. It's tough because I want to say 100% Aldo. That's what I want to say. My bias, my simping over Aldo. That's what I want to say. But you got to lean towards Ilya. And Ilya's grappling is good. He's the bigger, heavier guy. He has legitimate boxing. But Aldo has good boxing. Aldo has some wicked kicks, takedown defenses. The best in UFC history, in my personal opinion. I'm going to lean towards Ilya 60-40. But Aldo's still the king. The greatest featherweight of all time. Ilya can suck it. Let's move on to bantamweight. Y'all must have forgot Renan Barão, but Renan Barão was a monster. Again, second appearance for this guy. Dana White was glazing him. Pound for pound king. 8 years undefeated. From Nouveau Ognat, the second coming of Jose Aldo. Versus the machine, Merab Dvalishvili. I think it's a toss-up fight. 50-50, straight down the line. I think Merab's conditioning is going to be the X factor here, but Renan has much better striking. He's a dynamic striker. Amazing takedown defense. One of the best takedown defense exhibited in bantamweight history. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Toss-up. If you put a gun to my head, I would have to lean towards Merab due to conditioning, but 50-50. And last but not least, Demetrius Johnson versus Alejandro Pantoja. Now, Pantoja is a dog. He never gets the credit he deserves. I really have a ton of respect for this kid. But Demetrius Johnson is arguably the most complete MMA fighter of all time. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, he's small. Yeah, he's not going to draw, the same crowd or the same pay-per-view number as, a John Jones or an Ngannou or any of the heavier weight divisions. But Demetrius is as legit as it comes. And I don't think Pantoja offers him anything. I think this is like 95% Demetrius to 5% Pantoja. Pantoja can catch him. It is a fight at the end of the day. I'm going to lean towards Demetrius 95-5. Sorry, Pantoja. Now, 2014 versus 2024. How did it stack up? We had 4 wins for 2014, 3 wins for 2024, and then that draw with Barão versus Merab, that 50-50 fight. Guys, let me know in the comments who you would have winning 2014 versus 2024, and it's good to be back.